It was a dark and stormy night, the day that my pink bike disappeared. You guys know about my pink bike, right? Who knows about my pink bike? My pink bike. I parked it in front of Black Cat Books every day for 7 years. People used to say to me, I know when you're open because your pink bike is outside your store. Phil Barnett took an enormous photo of me with my pink bike. I have large photos of myself with my pink bike. When I moved out to Colorado, that was the gift that my dad gave me, that he bought me this pink bike. So I am passionate about this bike. So when it disappeared, my first thought was not to panic. Maybe someone just needed a quick lift home. Maybe someone tucked it in their store because it had been left out on accident. Maybe it might take a few days for it to reemerge, but I refused to accept the loss of my bike. After 24 hours, I did in fact report it to the police, because it is a pink bike after all. And 4 days later, I got a phone call. Natalie, your pink bike's for sale underneath the Safeway sign. I'm like, oh my God. The phone rings again. Natalie, your pink bike's for sale underneath the Safeway sign. I'm like, I know, I gotta do something. So I call the Manitou Springs Police Department. Even though you reported the loss of your bike with us, the bike is actually for sale in Colorado Springs. So you need to call the Colorado Springs Police Department. We can't help you. The phone rings again. Natalie, your bike's for sale underneath the Safeway sign. I'm like, I'm trying, I know. And so I call the Colorado Springs Police Department, and they put me on hold. And so in the meantime, I grab my other phone, and I call Lori Wood, and I say, Lori, my bike's for sale underneath the Safeway sign. Should I just jump in the car and go? I mean, are they drunk? Are they high? Are they mad? Like, do I just take my bike? How does this work? And she said, Justin's in the office with me. He knows people from the Colorado Springs Police Department. He's on it. So I'm on the phone. Justin's on the phone. We're working on it. In the meantime, someone pulls up in front of the bookstore. Natalie, your bike's for sale underneath the Safeway sign. I'm like, I know. And so I'm trying to manage everything. And I finally get through to the Colorado Springs Police Department, and I explain the situation, and they say, but you reported your bike in Manitou. And I said, yeah, somebody has to help me get my pink bike back. And they agreed to give it a shot. So they did agree to help me eventually. And a few minutes later, or 10 minutes later, the phone rings, and they say that they have my pink bike. So I hop in my car, and I'm driving over there, and I look over, and again, Lori Wood is next to me in her car. And I roll down the window, and I said, what are you doing? And she goes, what if they don't believe you? I'm here to help you identify your bike. And so I get there, I get to the Safeway, and there's literally half a dozen or so people around my bike, guarding my bike for me so that no one takes my bike. And so within 20 minutes of someone reporting my bike to me, we were loading it in my car. And basically, now I am free to ride again. But this is my pink bike story, and this is the story that I bring with me to the MAC and to Manitou, that this is my story. And so I felt like that was an important thing to share with you to start things off, so that when you fast forward, this would have been March in 2011 that my bike was taken, and I took over as director in June of 2012. And 6 weeks after I took over as director, the 515 building was horrifically vandalized. That someone with a key came in, they stopped up all of the sinks and turned them on, so 12 sinks, and they left. And when I came in the next morning, it was raining from the ceiling. And the Gazette reported this, so it must have happened. They said that the first word out of Natalie's mouth is not fit for print. But again, I had my pink bike story. So I knew that I was going to be okay. I knew that the art center would be okay. And within 24 hours, we had a Come Give Us a Hug event. And that day, our membership increased by 75%. We were able to, between donations and other things, we had enough money within that day to know that we would be fine while the repairs were being done. So 2.5 months later, $175,000 later, we reemerged as an organization bigger and better and stronger than the organization that we were before. And I just like to look at it as, in the Pikes Peak region, we don't let the bad guys win. And yeah, But if you fast forward a year from there, we're really close to about August 9th, and that is, again, when Manitou did flood. And it was logical for us to open our doors to the community. It was logical for us to help distribute food. We were a block and a half from the most damaged areas, and we were not directly impacted. And so I think I think on some level I was actually relieved I could actually help give back to the community after everything that had happened the year before. And it was just so immediate and direct, and we were able to really easily jump in and do that. So I think that since that time, we are now all CPR certified. We have actively joined boards and things to know what's going on, and we actually are going to continue to help and open our doors in the future and hope to actually do it a little better than the time before. We actually really lucked out last time that we did record everyone's name and hours, and we really did help coordinate volunteers, but if anyone had really gotten pretty horrifically hurt, I think that there could have been some problems. And so we did luck out in a lot of ways, and so we don't want to luck out next time, but we want to be ready and helpful and hopeful and all of those things. But I actually really want to talk about today the things that happen here that are not the things that we do when we're in a crisis situation. And I think the first thing that I'd like to talk about, maybe we can start building by building, but we do actually have over 20 artists that rent space from us and use our tools and equipment on a regular basis. And we do feel like that is one of the most basic missions that Paul Intiman had when he opened this organization or helped to get this organization started at the beginning. We have 5 active art galleries that we maintain on a regular basis. We also have a community gallery that folks can come in and curate on their own. We also have a members gallery that I believe, is Ramona here? Ramona, has that been going on from the very beginning? So from the very beginning, we've had a members gallery. Anyone who's a member can submit a piece of art. There is a jurying process, there is a critique opportunity, and there's a potluck. And it's a great way to show here all the time. It's great for emerging artists, but it's also great for established artists who want to try something that they experiment, get information and feedback on something they're uncomfortable doing, or maybe something new and different. So that's a big piece of what we do here too. We have events here all the time. So when we talk about events, last month we had 76 events at the Manitou Art Center. So the 76, that's a lot of events. Yeah, so we do say yes a lot to a lot of things. So that is definitely something that we consider to be part of our mission as well. And we do have a cafe next door. How many of you had soup from our cafe? Yeah. Almost every day I see Sharon here. Yeah, we opened the cafe with the idea that in order to be creative, you needed to have one good quality meal a day. And so we have $2 cups of soup, $3 bowls of soup. We use a lot of locally grown vegetables, Cal-Crate beef, a lot of things along that line. And so we do try to provide the best soup we can, and it's working, that I do feel like we're meeting this niche in the community. Yeah. And for breakfast, we have oatmeal, the soup of breakfast. Which is breakfast soup. Breakfast soup. So definitely check out Mabel's if you haven't had a chance to do that yet as well. But I feel like something that we do here, we also collaborate all the time with organizations, obviously with Bindu and with Smokebrush and with the Story Project, but we're also the home of Concrete Couch, we're the home of the Colorado Springs Indian Center, we have Sun Water here, we are the new home of E11, which is the creative school that Chuck Murphy mentioned earlier. And so we have a lot of partners in crime here, and we have a great time, and I feel like we're serving a need, and I feel like on a certain level, we're also giving each of you your pink bikes back too, so that all of you are also free to ride again. Thank you.